Hey crypto jelly pentonians, this is Don Kryptonium, the brightest mind in crypto. Recently, I made the video on the centralized exchange where you can make over 2000% yield, and this is Sifchain. We have some updates to Sifchain, so this video is about these updates, and you see what's the difference between this channel and other channels. I don't claim is I know all. This channel is for the discussion, so we can mutually understand the things and learn together. So there is some changes that came to the Sifchain, and this high APY is not relevant anymore because it changed, but there is also some other updates that meant to benefit the token itself. And we also gonna talk about deflation because Sifchain tried to introduce deflation. And if some informations are wrong, incomplete, hey, comment sections, comment, like this video if you like this type of content. Finally, I was able to say it, not at the end, because I always forget to tell you to like this video. But apparently it helps. That's why I'm asking for that. So best to start with the Sifchain Twitter. So Sifchain introducing economic experiment first that happened in crypto, and it's called PMTP. What's the protocol monetary trade policy? I'm not sure, but it meant to affect the purchasing power of the Rowan. But let's talk about this. Sifchain says is a team of innovators and technologists who believe that crypto economics is paving the way for a better life for everyone. I would argue, but it paving the better way of life for Don Kryptonium. And they have 4 economists in the team. It doesn't matter much because I know plenty of economists that are way better. Founder, breakthrough thinker, and futurist Jazer Brooks. And I tell you something, I really like Jazer. Jazer, not Jazer, probably. I'm not sure, but if you want to Google, like, there's some great interviews with Jazer, and I was really impressed with with the interviews, with his knowledge. And I actually had the dream last night, and this is the truth. I dreamed of Jazer Brooks. And this is why I'm making this video, because in the video I dreamt that he dropped off the Sifchain, and I woke up very confused, but it seems I'm reading like he's still there. So they created something, protocol monetary trade policy. It doesn't matter what it means, but at Sifchain we're building an omni chain, so the chain that allows you not only buy the native Cosmos Hub tokens, but also Ethereum tokens, and hopefully soon more. Because wrapped BTC or Shiba doesn't really matter. These are Ethereum tokens, but when they will be able to connect maybe to Polygon, Moonbeam, Avalanche, I'm not sure what they're trying, then it really will be truly game changer if they can pull this out as the first ones, although they don't have the deepest liquidity as of now. They are losing to osmosis, so we'll see. But this is the problem I had, and especially I felt there is huge inflation in Rowan. Hard to even tell how big is that. It was probably bigger than osmosis and way bigger than any other protocols, and that probably had the effect on the Sifchain price, despite not affecting market cap that much. So how these protocols, how they are able to pay you such a high APY, like Osmosis, Crescent, Sifchain, soon JunoSwap, they create very huge inflation. So in most of the cases in real life, the inflation is bad, right? It means rising prices. But in many cases, the inflation allow you to build the liquidity. So you incentivize people with more token, create this high inflation. You hope that people will not sell, that they will move back to liquidity pools. And thanks to this huge inflation, you create in deep liquidity. And Osmosis was very successful with this, as they created liquidity into billions of dollars. Sifchain got into $100 million of liquidity just recently. But there is issue because it cannot go on forever. So there's the thought, hey, we will do super high inflation for a few years, build the liquidity, and hope for the best later. So Sifchain is coming with something to fight this huge inflation, and this is how they create this monetary policy that aim into purchasing power of ROAN. And with this aiming at purchasing power, it should affect the price, because if you affect the purchasing power, if you increase the purchasing power, despite high inflation, people might be incentivized to hold it, to not sell, and that would then pump the price. But we will see into some docs how they aim to do it, because I'm telling you, in next 60 weeks, they will incentivize pool with 750 million ROANs or something like this. So actually creating deflationary token will be so difficult. But there is some attempt, and we'll try to have look into this. If you confused, comment. If you know something more, comment. I'm really willing to learn here. So they adjusting the exchange rate of ROAN on Sifchain, where it's most liquid, in tiny increments every block. So this is the most important part. We also see the different rewards because of this, because after PMTP, they did also change the incentive, the pools. So we will talk about how to calculate your total APY. This is something really important here. I see many people are confused, even like CryptoCito, the major Cosmos YouTuber. So he wants the interview with Jazir. I want the interview with Jazir. Jazir, talk to me. I would be happy. So of course it's the first of its kind, and they will do education sessions. So if we are confused, maybe it's good to come over on my channel and do some education session. There is also this different rewards module. So as before, you claim the rewards every week, and maybe you put it back to the pool or sell it. There is difference now. So like I'm not in the main wallet, but if you add liquidity, then your liquidity is bonded for 7 days, and you don't wait whole week for your rewards, but it's auto compounded at every block, which is 6 seconds. Is this correct? I'm not really sure. But I think it's 6 seconds. And some people would think, hey, if it's auto compounding all the time, that's way better than before, because before we had like this pool APY was at they were at over 2000% total. So let's see APR. Let's round it to 270, right? So I opened the calculator, and this is 2070% a year. So this is the points. If this compounded weekly, this is like 48 times, right? So you can calculate, and this would be this number if that would be the previous compounding. Every day will give you 100% more, and you would think every block will give you crazy amount. Not necessarily, because as you increase the number, the changes will be very small. So I think we can gain additional 10%. This is, I think, every block. This is number of compounding for a year. I'm not sure, but like wherever you go, like you don't get much higher than this. Okay, so there's limit to the compounding, of course. Unless I did some mistake. So correct me if there's some mistake. But to my knowledge, no. But 1,380%, excellent, right? But let's learn more about the economics of that. So liquidity mining, that doesn't end inflation deflation. So there will be 225 ROAN per block for over 3 months, 350 million ROAN. But I read there will be over 60 weeks, 750 million. SIFA session which launch alongside the new rewards module in late April, will enable SIFDAO to propose weekly emissions of ROAN for LM rewards on an ongoing basis until the SIFDAO votes to stop the LM program. And this is really something I have the problem. Research in deflationary mechanisms. So if they can do it, this would be one of the best inventions, because if you release so many tokens, and as of now, let's go to CoinGecko, okay? if they issue like over half billion tokens, well over that. I can't check, but you can see the Rowan got to top 400. One day they already in effect. But anyway, there is Sifchain is just over 1 billion, and essentially what they want to reduce the supply below 1 billion. I mean, if that works, like this. But that's not that's not the advice, okay? Let's go to some other things that I wanted to talk. I wonder if we have this. So context of what is this? What is purchasing? Oh, sorry for these breaks, people. How is it possible to influence purchasing power, and what is this? Because this is like quite important. So they mentioned this rate of Rowan on Sifchain. So how if I will say bullshit here, someone stop me in the comments, okay? It means, let's say you have 100 Rowan, okay, and with 100 Rowan you can buy $10. That's the example. But they will be doing some tweaks to every block that will allow the Rowan to purchase more assets with the Rowan than there is current value of Rowan. So it's like centralized custody trying to tweak it a little bit to increase the value of Rowan. But it will be also only possible on Sifchain. That it's also bullish to Sifchain itself, because now sometimes per block basis, instead of buying, let's say at the flat price $10 with 100 Rowan, you will be able to buy like 10 point something, let's say 10.5 with the same number. So you would choose Sifchain because purchasing your Rowan is more valuable on Sifchain than on other exchanges, right? So that's how it works. That's how you affect the purchasing power. How they doing this, I wonder. I want to actually learn about this, but let's see. The definition of purchasing power is value of currency expressed in terms of the number of the goods or services that 1 unit of money can buy. So yeah, purchasing power, high purchasing power of Rowan, you can buy more, right? So let's say with the better example, let's say with 100 Rowan, you can buy 10 pieces of bread, right? The big bread, 10 pieces of bread. But now they tweak it. You can buy 10 pieces of bread and few sandwiches extra. That's the better one. And of course, purchasing power is woven into every aspect of our lives, not only in cryptocurrency, but for all of the transactions we make on the day-to-day basis. And yes, they are right. And if you check the GDPs of country, they have different purchasing power. So essentially, what it means, like if you buy the bread, let's say in the United States, I guess, you will pay $2 for some fancy sandwich, but for the same sandwich somewhere else in the world you would pay maybe $1. So it would mean in other part of the world the purchasing power of that dollar is higher. So essentially that's what they're doing. Understand the Sifchain as the country where your Rowan is more valuable than in other places, just by bit. The genius of PMTP is that it allows governance to influence Rowan purchasing power on Sifchain within period of time. This can help users deal with inherent volatility of cryptocurrencies. Sorry if I'm harassing your language. And this is the question: how is it possible to influence the purchasing power? Yeah, I don't really fully I understand purchasing power. I don't understand how will be exactly influencing the price. It's helpful to look at ways that purchasing power is influenced on other projects and in traditional finance to clear up some of this confusion. So as I said to you, like the example of the bread was great. Like, right, you increase the value of and understanding how different purchasing power of the dollar is across the world. So other common ways to influence purchasing power in the cryptocurrency space include inflation. Example, osmosis has a set rate of inflation in order to give people osmosis so that they can provide liquidity by bonding it with external assets to earn rewards. Also in Osmo, Osmo rewards. You have internal incentives and external, so something we're talking. And then inflation is used by the Cosmos Hub to incentivize validators and delegators to secure the network. Yes, correct. Which is staking. High inflation, more staking maybe. That's earning them more Atom that they can use to purchase other assets, stake, or provide liquidity. So this is how the inflation is created, security and liquidity. But there is also example of deflation, which is Luna. Luna's purchasing power increases. That's why when you look at, can we look at what Luna did? Can we look at this? I never held Luna, I'm aware. Sorry, my CoinGecko is making it in the pants now. So anyway, we know what Luna did. And Luna purchasing power increases when it's burned to create UST. The result of this is that there are less Luna and more UST, meaning that one Luna becomes worth more UST. Luna's purchasing power has increased. So actually Luna did use already purchasing power manipulation, let's call it, to increase its value, and it worked perfectly. So we'll see if it can happen. And also in traditional finance, it's very common for a corporation to buy back stock. So if they have a lot of money, and it's always very bullish, and it actually increases the value of the stock. Imagine company has $1 billion cash, and they're like, I don't know what we do. We have so much money. We produce so much money every year. Let's buy our own shares. You know what happens when people buy your own shares? The price of the shares goes up. You know what what happens when Elon Musk buy the shares? Price go up. Not only because of the buying pressure, but also because it looks, hey, they buy, it must be good. And there is the link where can be found more on this protocol. I didn't find it that useful, so I will link this document because it's worth to go through. And I want to actually find some plans for deflation. So we have auto compounding, which I actually did tell you about. Deflationary mechanisms. So this is a last thing I want to talk about here, because there is the plans to create deflation for the Rowan. As mentioned above, we are researching deflationary mechanisms to put Rowan below 1 billion circulating supply. They working a lot. They say to ship PMTP, which is live, Peggy to deep margin, but they want to make it clear to get feedback how it works, and yeah, that's good. The part of exchange fees will undergo buyback, so this is another thing that could lead to deflation. And these buybacks are example from the traditional world, right? So fees collected on Sifchain would be put in the auction. For example, let's say that there is a basket of $100, $50 are in ETH and $50 are in RON. Users can bid using only RON. Let's say user A bids 90 in RON and user B bids 95. It goes to user B. So then user B is able to own $100 basket asset for only 95. And that opens arbitrage opportunities. One most interesting thing that is here, because this video is getting long and I know you getting bored, and you will read this yourself. But this is one thing that I'm super interested. If they want to create deflation, do something similar that Terra does. In 2021, the stablecoins saw tremendous growth. Different stablecoins design mechanisms have emerged, varying from fully collateralized stablecoins, fractional algorithmic stablecoins, to purely algorithmic stablecoins. Example, USDT is collateralized, at least we think it is. USDT, USDC, this is this. BUSD, I think is, I don't know, is fully collateralized or half-half. And we have USD, that is purely algorithmic stablecoin, right? So it's not backed by any real, like any dollars or any other assets. It's just backed by Luna, and it meant to be also backed by Bitcoin. So then it will be half-half because it will be backed with other assets. And they are in initial stages of researching a stablecoin model for Sifchain. SIFUSD. Here's the question to you: does SIFUSD is best? I would like to the name SUSD, USDS. I think there is SUSD, but maybe USDS. RUSD, like Roman USD or something like this. I don't know. But I think the Sifchain was failing at naming. I think the naming could be good to increase the value of the brand and make branding a little bit more interesting. But SIFUSD could be used to introduce stable swap model that fits in nicely with Peggy 2's planned token fungibility groups. Or maybe it could be used in a saving value similar to Anchor. Exactly. In which trading fees are burned and used to mint SIFUSD, which is paid out as yield to those who lock up their SIFUSD in savings valued. So yeah, like I do really think that Sifchain is really trying to think hard how we make better, and that's why I like it. So stablecoins will be more important. I invite you to this paper. I'm not going to read more, right? As I said, like if they can create deflation on such a high inflationary project, I would be mind blown myself, because I imagine how difficult it is, staking reward at 162%. So with this new protocol, they aim that maybe staking or holding would be better. But I feel I still prefer liquidity providing, with this new pools despite the having small percentage, this is still the industry leading in compared to Osmosis. I think will be competing well with Crescent and competing well with the Juno swap. That is my main focus actually, but I like using Sifchain. So I hope these news were useful and exhausting video. I used this last few minutes actually to tell you a few things. I wish I would be able to make more content. I actually can make easy 3 videos a day naturally. I love making content. I like speaking to you, interacting. There is not always time I have. There will be time where I will have more time. There will be time when I will have less time, but I don't, I'm doing my best to squeeze the content recently. But there are so many things happening in the crypto space right now. Maybe it's not reflected in the price, but I'm not this pump it up crypto channels. I'm just a guy who is interested. So maybe not much pump it up in the pricing happens, but in development there is a lot of things happening with crypto. So for someone request, Don Kryptonium's out.